Episode 6. Fix a power farm that's leaking power. Fold the 12 by 12 sunflower grid into one row of main. Bank the winnings. Unlock Cactus, then discover it's a sorting puzzle. Write a bubble sort, hit the boundary crash, fix it with guards, harvest the whole sorted patch in one squared payout explosion. Cold open payoff, the sorted cactus field detonating in a single harvest. Then rewind to the power leak that kicked it all off. Here's where I started, and here's the problem. My sunflowers had their own 12 by 12 grid. That's 144 squares. And sunflowers only pay out on the single one with the most petals. So across a whole field of 144, I might harvest one sunflower, maybe two, and I'm watering and tending all the rest for nothing. Do the maths, and I'm spending more power keeping that field alive than I'm getting back from it. A power farm that loses power isn't much of a power farm. So I went back and read the notes on sunflowers, and one line changes everything. You only need at least 10 sunflowers on the farm for the bonus to work. 10, not 144. So why am I burning a whole grid on it? If 10 is enough, I can fit them into a single row of my main grid, right alongside the grass, the trees and the carrots, and let one field do everything at once. Hey guys, just to say, if there's a bit of code you don't understand, drop a message down below and I'll go through it again for you. No problems. If you did something slightly different to me, drop it down below. Share your code. Let's collaborate and do this together. Why row 0, the bottom row? Because that's where the drone already starts and ends every lap. It begins each sweep at the bottom and comes back to it. So if the sunflowers live on row 0, the drone is right there in position every single time. No extra walking to reach them. Free real estate. Now the controller, it used to juggle 3 things: main, pumpkins, and a separate sunflower program. But sunflowers are part of main now, so that third brain is gone. I renamed to match. The old sunflower slot becomes main, the old main becomes pumpkins. And the old carrot branch? Deleted. Carrots are just part of the main sweep now. They don't need their own switch. 2 crops, simpler controller, clear ahead. If you're finding these episodes useful, please like and subscribe to my channel. And remember, turn those notifications on so you get notified when the next episode is dropping. Then I copy the sunflower logic into main and run it. Straight away from there it works. The drone's planting and tending. Good starting point. Now the editing begins. First test, first problem. Nothing planted in row 0. The exact row I'd picked for my sunflowers. Empty. And pumpkins started appearing where they shouldn't. That second one was an easy fix. Back in the controller I'd left it saying else pumpkins. So anytime the condition wasn't met, it dropped straight into pumpkins. Changed that else to run main instead, and the pumpkins stopped gate crashing. Back to that empty row 0, and this one came down to indentation. When I copied the sunflower code across, it still carried the shape of its old home. It was built to sweep a whole grid, with an inner loop and moves nested inside it. But I only wanted it to handle the single bottom row now, so that nesting was wrong. Part of the code was sitting one level too deep, tucked inside a loop it shouldn't have been in, which meant it never actually ran on row 0. In Python, the indentation is the structure. How far a line is pushed in decides what it belongs to. A few tweaks, pulling those lines back out to the right level, and the drone started planting the bottom row properly. Code's running. But running revealed the next problem, and it's a subtle one. I was only scanning the sunflowers once every 12 columns. The scan, measure every sunflower, find the one with the most petals, harvest just that one was sitting after the whole field loop. So it only fired once the drone had finished sweeping the entire field, 1 scan per full lap. I want it picking the best sunflower far more often than that at the end of every column. So I moved the scan inside the main loop, down to the bottom of each column, the moment the drone returns to row 0, just before it steps across to the next one, and it runs in 2 passes. First pass, walk the bottom row and measure every sunflower, keeping track of the biggest petal count I've seen so far. Second pass, Walk it again and harvest only the one that matches that biggest count. Then replant it. Now every single column, the drone stops at the bottom, finds the best sunflower, takes it, and moves on. Maximum power coming in, and because it's all one field, the grass, the trees and the carrots are still being farmed at the same time. One grid, doing everything. That's the win. All that power had to go somewhere, so I went shopping on the tree. Upgraded my grass, my trees, my carrots and my pumpkins, and then I spent the rest on the big one. Cactus, unlocked. And straight away the game tells me this crop is different. You grow it on soil and harvest it like anything else, but every cactus comes out a different size, somewhere from 0 to 9, and they've got, in the game's own words, a strange sense of order. Here's the catch, and it's a good one. Harvest one fully grown cactus while all its neighbours are in sorted order, and it doesn't just take that one, it harvests every neighbour too, spreading out across the whole sorted patch in a single go. And the payout is the number you harvest, squared. Take 9 at once, that's 81 cactus. The bigger the sorted block, the bigger the explosion. But sorted has rules. Every neighbour to the north and the east has to be the same size or bigger. Every neighbour to the south and west, the same size or smaller. Smallest in the bottom left, biggest in the top right. Get one cactus out of place and the chain won't spread. They even tell you a grown cactus, sat there brown, means it's not sorted. Turn it green and it's in order. And the tools, I've got to fix that. 2 of them. Measure, tells me the size of a cactus, pass it a direction, and it reads my neighbour instead. And swap, trades the cactus under me with the one next to me. Measure, compare, swap. So this isn't a farming problem anymore, is it? It's a sorting problem, which means next I'm writing a proper sorting algorithm to put this whole field in order, then harvesting the lot with one command. So here's my starting point, the cactus planting loop. It tills any square that isn't soil, plants a cactus on every empty tile, waters as it goes, and snakes its way right across the field. That's the farm grown. But grown isn't sorted. Right now it's a patch of random sizes, all brown, no chain, nothing lines up. So this is where the real work starts, turning that mess into a sorted block. The one tool I've got for moving cactus around is swap. Give it a direction and it trades the cactus under the drone with the one beside it. So the plan is a bubble sort. I sweep the whole field and at every square I compare myself to my neighbours. If the cactus I'm standing on is bigger than the one to the north, swap north. Bigger than the one to the east, swap east. Then I keep sweeping the field over and over, and the moment a full pass makes 0 swaps, the field is sorted. Smallest bottom left, biggest top right. So I write exactly that. Swap north if I'm bigger, swap east if I'm bigger, and I run it, and it crashes. Tried to swap over the farm boundaries. That's not allowed. And once you see it, it's obvious. When the drone reaches the top row, there's no square to the north. I'm asking it to swap with thin air off the edge of the farm. Same story on the last column when it tries to swap east. There's nothing there, so the game stops me dead. The fix is a guard, a quick check before each swap that asks one thing. Is there actually a neighbour there to swap with? Before the north swap, I check my Y position isn't already the top row. Before the east swap, I check my X position isn't already the last column. If I'm sitting on the edge, that swap gets skipped. Now the top row never reaches north, the last column never reaches east, and the sort runs clean all the way to the end. One harvest down in the bottom left corner spreads across the whole sorted patch, and the payout comes back squared. Field sorted. And watch what happens the moment that harvest lands. The cactus count shoots past 1,000, so the controller's cactus branch stops triggering. There's nothing left for it to do. And our power? It's fallen below 5,000, so pumpkins doesn't kick in either. So the drone drops straight back to main. The everyday grass, trees, carrots and sunflower sweep, quietly rebuilding power until it's rich enough to go again. That's not a bug. That's exactly what's meant to happen. Cactus done, power low. Back to main to top the tank up, and that's the episode. Before I go, a quick look at where this is heading next week. First thing I'm doing is growing the farm itself, bigger than it's ever been. And here's the lovely part. I don't change a single line of this code to do it. Everything I've written loops on get _world_size. So a bigger world just means more laps around the same instructions. Same code, bigger farm, still copes without a rewrite. That's the whole reason you write it properly the first time. Then the real unlock. All that cactus money goes on fertilizer, and fertilizer is the key that opens the next door. Maize,